Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from the healthyamerican.org nonstop coverage on the aftermath of the Maui fires. You know, my heart is just broken for all of those that are suffering and have been displaced. They've lost their families. In some cases, they've lost family members. They've lost their family homes. They've lost their property. Many of them have lost their livelihood. It's absolutely just overwhelming to think about it. And I think that's part of the reason I'm so moved to continue to do this coverage is because I am looking for solutions, for strategies, a way that we can shine the spotlight on what's going on, because so many people have already moved on and they're not even talking about that. There have been some news reports about some controversies that, of course, we predicted regarding how the money is being spent, money that was donated to the Red Cross. The state of Hawaii gave the Red Cross almost $100 million, and the Red Cross said that they've used $9 million of it. So where's the other money? What about all of the money that's been donated to Maui Strong and all the other organizations? Now, there is one place that it looks like some of this money is being put to use. And I'm going to leave it up to you to determine your own opinion on where these Maui fire victims are going to be living and housed. So it's important to me that we continue to look at this, shine a light on it, expose the evildoers, rattle their cages. We're seeing that people are, in terms of people, I mean, the public serpents are now kind of changing their tune a little bit. They know that everybody is watching them, and evil thrives in darkness. They're still going to try to push through their evil agendas. Don't get me wrong. I know that, but let's slow down this tidal wave of tyranny and let's stay educated and informed on what's going on as well. So I'm going to share this video that is from another news station called KHON. I really like KITV. These are both local stations there in the state of Hawaii. So let me share my screen and we will hop right on over there. Give me just a moment. Let me cue that up. And here we have it. All right. It's just short video. Let me know if you have seen where they're planning on housing some of the victims. Some of them are in hotels, some of them are in Airbnbs, some of them have left to go with family on different islands. And here, let's look at the story where some of them are going to be going.
For those displaced by the fires is in the works. Joining us now from Maui is Nikki Schenfeld with more. Nikki?
Yes, Bridget, we're going to see just how quickly and fast these temporary housing units can go up. I'm just getting out of the way to show you here. Now, this is the crew Continest, and they have emergency shelters that are fireproof with 4 walls and a roof, and they can be made larger with air conditioning, and they're going to come fully furnished. Now, these won't be the final location. In fact, I'm going to have Jason follow me over here. This whole entire backdrop that you see is going to be an entire community with these housing units for those displaced by the fires.
18 containers have popped up on Maui in the last few days. The nonprofit Family Life Center, which helps unsheltered find housing, leased this land from King's Cathedral and purchased roughly 250 of these emergency shelters.
Now, I need to point something out, friends, before we go back there. All right, a couple of things. The name of the company, Continest, I think that's interesting because Google has their Nest, which I don't use, and that is the technology whereby your climate control, right, climate inside your house can be regulated, and apparently you don't need a key or something. I've heard of people being locked out of their houses because the app didn't work, so I'm never going to do that Nest system anyway. But I thought that was just an interesting coincidence. But what I find even more interesting is that this Ohana Hope Village, and that's the group that is putting this together, that's what they're going to be calling this. The group that is doing it has been around for some time, and they help homeless people. So my question is, are these residences, I don't know what to call them, these containers, are they going to be for the homeless that were displaced, or are these going to be for the victims? Let's see if they answer that question. Let me also say that I am 100% in favor of all kinds of solutions being looked at. I think this possibly could be great for somebody if their option is to be on the street or maybe to be sharing a hotel room with somebody they don't want to. I don't know. So I'm in favor of all kinds of options. My concern is, how long is this going to be lasting? What is the kind of permanence? And I've heard from people in Oregon fires. In fact, I did a video on that where FEMA was patting themselves on the back saying, we still have people in temporary housing 3 years later. Like that was some kind of accomplishment. And the reason they said it that way was that FEMA was still paying for the temporary housing for those that were displaced in the Oregon fires. And to me, this is that creepy, crawly forward whereby people are living in government housing and the government paying for it, meaning the taxpayers are paying for it. So I'm a little bit concerned with her description of this being a community. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. All right, let's continue. Just another minute or two. Share my screen. Here we go.
We started planning immediately the day after the fire. We just recognized that people were going to need help. Our normal services are to the homeless population. Now, all of a sudden, that population has exploded.
Their goal is to get kupuna and families into housing first. The community will have access to water and plumbing, and all homes are fireproof.
They will have access to water and plumbing. So my understanding, I could be wrong, but from the previous public housing projects that I saw that I've reported on before, there are community toilets and a community kitchen. Again, that may be preferable to being on the street. I'm just trying to paint you the actual picture. When they say you will have access to plumbing and water, does not mean that you are going to have plumbing and water inside your container. Now, personally, I have a little claustrophobia, so I'm not sure that this would be preferable to me. I might want to be outside, but that's just me.
It's going to be combined into 2 or 3, providing more room for families. The emergency shelters were flown in by military aircraft with help from a former Oahu resident.
So we're hopeful to get 250 total units here to house either 250 families or up to 1,000 people.
Okay, 1,000 people in 250 containers. That's wow. That's pretty high density.
And that's going to come in waves. So we have different shipments coming by ocean freight. We're hoping to get more C-17s. We're constantly working on that. If we can make it faster, we absolutely will. But we're hopeful by the end of September to have at least 150 units.
Plumbers, electricians, and solar companies are chipping in with the bills.
Solar companies are chipping in with the bills. I find that interesting.
And hotels are donating items like beds and furniture, and each comes with donated air conditioning units.
This is supposed to be locals rebuilding their own community.
Family Life Center has a goal to really provide these people with a lot more than just 4 walls and a bed. Every unit's going to have a kitchen, a bathroom, a private enclosed.
Okay, so I was mistaken. It was the other public housing community villages that I showed you in a previous video that did not have their own private bathroom and kitchen. So, man, that's fantastic.
It's going to be in a pot of 6 or 4. In the center of those will be a community hallway. It's going to have laundry, larger kitchen appliances, meeting spaces for people to meet with mental health professionals, disaster relief professionals, how to recover from this and how to move forward.
FEMA still encourages victims to register with them to see which housing situation is best. Right now, they've housed hundreds of people in hotels across Maui.
Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second. Oh, let me make sure. Stop share. All right, let me pause there for a second. And I did have this company that I wanted to show you right here, if you'd like to dig a little deeper. And they're out of Hungary. And I didn't see anything adverse about them. They provide a lot of these containers for temporary events like music events and conferences, sometimes people are selling things at different outdoor events. So this is what they are known for. And here are some of their products. I did not see, oh, that's interesting. Deployable shooting range. I did not see anything that caught my eye. So I think this is, one of the solutions that can be offered. Hopefully it is temporary. And as I say, they come out of Hungary, I believe it is. And yeah, if anybody speaks Hungarian, and the first batch were flown over by military transport. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then let me show you this last thing. I was trying to find, I think it's called Ohana Hope Village. So let me share that with you. And here we go. This is a bigger picture of what's going on. So the temporary midterm housing is what they're calling it. New temporary midterm housing, helping those displaced by the Maui wildfires. So here is another image of it. We'll just take a look at it on YouTube. And I don't think we need that volume because there's no words. It's just sound. So anyway, this, again, some of the impact of the fires. I'm going to go just a little faster on this. And this is the Family Life Center that helps with homeless. And now they purchased this or are leasing it from a very large church in the area. And this is what it is going to look like. So I think that's kind of, as a temporary housing, that's the bigger hale where you can have the community gathering. There's your little porch, the swing set for the keiki, as they call them. So I'd like to know what you think. If this is something that, do you think is going to be more than just temporary? I wonder if this is a picture of what's to come. Interesting, just 11 days after the fire, they broke ground. I don't know if that's significant or not. And there is a NATO C-16 flying in those shipments of the shelter units. It's quite remarkable. And there they are. If anybody wants to help me on the research and see if there's anything to this contest or if they just are stepping up and providing the housing. So that's what I had for you on that, friends. All right, I'll leave a link for you below. That's going to wrap up. I did 3 videos for you in my broadcast today. I'm so grateful to have you on board. I have the best audience on YouTube, my healthy Americans. I used to call you smart, but I'm not going to use that word anymore because of all those, smart cities. You are sophisticated and you're supportive and you're savvy. And once in a while, you're a little bit snarky when the conditions call for it. I did not even talk about Joshi today in any of my videos, but I promise you that I will continue to bring coverage about his nefarious plans. As I'm recording this, it's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I will be bringing you more fire coverage because there's some very interesting controversies that are coming up. And as I say, the media is really shining a light on what's going on with these public serpents. I'm also going to cover some legal issues in terms of what's going on with the governor of New Mexico and some great news coming out of the Los Angeles Unified School District lawsuit where teachers lost their pay, I think they lost their pensions and they lost their livelihood and their standing because they refused to become human pincushions. You have got to hear what these federal court judges are saying, and they are saying the right thing. All right, friends, thank you so much for being on board. Highlight of my day is to connect with you here. I look forward to reading all of your comments. I usually read during the first 24 hours, and then it's time for me to get on to the next video. So thanks again for being on board, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.